All right, everybody, good evening to you. Current time is about 8:45 p.m. here on December 22nd. I'm forecasting done with another update for you on what we are seeing out there this evening. The cold front continues to move into Ohio. We do have snow falling in the Buckeye State now. Also, lots of snow falling across Indiana here this evening. So I will try to pull up a couple different things for you. We'll kind of show you what we are seeing out there this evening. So again, I'll give everybody just a few minutes here to join us here this evening. I'll share this around with a couple places, and you can do so as well. Radar in the lower right-hand corner. The Arctic front has just crossed I-75, and the snow line is coming right up to I-75 now for the most part. Seeing some pockets of heavy snow. Temperatures falling very quickly. Just in the last 90 minutes or so, Muncie has fallen from the mid-40s to the upper teens. So a drastic temperature change is on the way. Call that weather whiplash, if you will. So let us know what you're seeing out there this evening. If you have any reports, let us know. We'll go over a couple different things here in just a minute. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Give me just 1 second here. Again, I hope everybody's having a good day here so far today. It's been a busy one for us, as you can imagine, but again, let us know where you are watching from out there this evening. So let's go and get things started off, first of all, with a look at our snow emergency level maps at this particular point in time. Just as of about 5 minutes ago, most of our Indiana counties are already on a travel advisory or a travel watch. And essentially, if you remember our old Ohio system, or our current one now, I should say, is what we have. We have level 1, we have level 2, and we have a level 3. So Indiana, the advisory is like a level 1, the watch is like a level 2, and the warning is like a level 3. So that's where things are standing right now. Some of these counties have preemptively went on to these different travel status updates, and I expect Ohio to start issuing some levels here before too much longer. And of course, once that happens, we'll get those posted on our Facebook pages as well. So be sure that you're staying tuned to us over there for additional updates. So that's kind of where things are standing at this particular moment in time in terms of the levels. Now, in terms of the radar in general, we're going to kind of go on a little bit of a tour here this evening. We'll start off with our southwestern counties here around Cincinnati up to date. And again, as I said, that snow is approaching I-75 coming in right now. So the western half of Hamilton County, the western half of Montgomery County, you have switched to snow, and it's coming down pretty good. You see some of these darker bands of blue. This is where the snow is coming down very hard. The wind is going to really start to increase as well, so I do anticipate some reduced visibility starting to pop up here pretty soon. The actual front itself, based on what we can see, appears to be just ahead of the actual rain-snow transition zone. So this is going to be likely crossing US 68 right now from Bellefontaine down to Xenia to the eastern sides of Cincinnati. Once that crosses you, your temperatures are going to start to fall, and they should start to fall relatively quickly. And we should see temperature changes that are going to be, to the tune of, probably 20 to 25 degrees in a very short amount of time. So just some kind of interesting things to kind of jot along with that. Greenville, you appear to have changed over to snow at this point in time. So that's obviously a pretty dangerous situation out there as well. We'll show you some traffic cameras here in just a couple of moments to kind of let you know what conditions are like across Indiana here this evening. I'm working on actually getting that populated in for us right now, so bear with me for just 1 second here. I do want to show you one camera here out of Indiana this evening, where, as you can see, this is a live look at I-69 in Gas City. You could see I-69 is already snow covered. Visibilities are already being reduced across much of northeastern Indiana, so obviously in a very dangerous situation ongoing at this particular moment in time. We are sitting at 42 in Columbus right now. Back across northeast Indiana, a lot of places in the teens. So the good news is right now the roads are still passable, but snow is ongoing across northeast Indiana, so I expect this condition to change here in the relatively short term. You can even see the camera shaking there just a little bit in the wind. That's an indication for us that we do have some very strong wind gusts, at least on that order of 25 to 35 miles per hour. Those winds will continue to increase as we continue to progress on through. So let's take you back to radar. I do want to move you up a little bit further north here into northeast Indiana and northwest Ohio, where most of you in Indiana have been snow for some time. You can see lots of lighter blues on the map. There was some darker blue a little earlier, so now we're kind of seeing that some of the higher snow ratios are taking place, so we should start to see that snow pile up relatively quickly. So Marion, Kokomo, South Bend, Warsaw, Fort Wayne, Angola, you are snowing. Defiance, it looks like it is just changing over for you now. Bryan, you were all snow. Paulding, Van Wert, it is snowing for you. Wapakoneta, Salina should be all snow for you at this point. Wapak, you may have just changed over in the last few minutes. So that's kind of where things are standing. And the snow continues also as we work our way down into central Indiana, where we've seen some reports of jackknife semis. You can see a few dry pockets trying to get in there. We've not actually seen a single measurement of snowfall yet, and it's probably very tricky to measure out there this evening with the very strong winds that we have in place combined with the snow and the very cold temperatures. Not a very pleasant way to go out and want to try to shovel snow as we continue to track this storm for you. So that's kind of the way things are shaping up right now. I will give you a quick look elsewhere across our coverage area. Southeast Ohio, just a few rain showers this evening, relatively mild in the mid-40s. Again, everybody's going to be experiencing this colder air working in before too much longer. In our last stop for radar, we'll take you back up here to northeast Ohio, where we do have a little bit of light rain, mainly across those that are west of I-77 right now, as we continue to track that for you as well. I do want to bring you up to speed on what some of the computer models are suggesting, and this is mainly going to be for places that have not quite switched over to snow yet. So let's go ahead and pull that up now if we can. There we go. So this is the high resolution rapid refresh model. Again, the latest run of it. And as you can see, still a decent amount of rain initially. And that's going to allow for that flash freeze to take place once that cold front crosses the region here through the rest of the night tonight. So if you're out driving late tonight into tomorrow morning, I expect adverse weather conditions to really be taking place across the region. So that's looking right now. We'll take you out to midnight. That rain snow line, very consistent coming up to US 23. And I want you to notice some pink in here. This would be an indication of freezing rain. I don't think we're going to see any of that whatsoever. Based on some of the reports we've seen, this is a relatively clean changeover from rain to snow. We're not going to have to worry about sleet, not going to have to worry about freezing rain. The upper levels of the atmosphere are becoming very cold once that cold front crosses your location, and it won't take long to see that rain change to snow. So I would kind of ignore some of the pinks that you see in there. I think we stay all rain initially, and we change over to all snow relatively quickly. So let's take you to 2 a.m. Snow continues, and now as you can see the rain snow line approaching the I-77 corridor. For those of you that are watching over in the Middle Ohio Valley, you'll have some light to moderate rain to start with, and then again that rain will change to snow. Heavy for a few hours for just about everybody tonight, and then some more light to moderate type snow kicks in. There's 4 a.m., 5 a.m. morning rush hour. By this point, it looks like everybody should be snow. Maybe our extreme eastern counties are still hanging on to the potential for seeing some light rain still falling, but again, a lot of us should be changed over, if not everybody, to snow at this point in time. One trend you do see, drier air across northeastern and north central Indiana, and then the snow is tapering off for southwestern Ohio. That has been a relatively consistent trend. I am a little concerned about the dry slot here in northeast Indiana. We do still have some lake effect snow showers that will start to kick in once the system snow departs. So I don't expect it to last too long, but there's certainly some concern there that we may see some dry time, and that would be good. But obviously when we're looking at verifying and wanting to making sure that our snowfall maps that we've produced come to an actual forecast, we'll have to watch that very closely. So how much snow are we going to see? I've been wanting to side with this model this evening just because of the way that it seems to be handling the overall position of everything so far. In terms of looking at overall snowfall reports, it's been very tough so far given the adverse conditions. So snowfall totals. Highest snowfall, as you can see, lots of double-digit totals over northeast Ohio into the snow belt. So those of you in northeastern Cuyahoga County over through Lake and Geauga counties into Ashtabula County, likely going to see some lake effect snow after our initial system snow departs. So that's where I expect the highest totals to be. And then also South Bend, LaPorte, over into portions of Elkhart County and Goshen. I do anticipate some relatively heavy totals there. as well. And I'm getting meteorologist Mike Joyce to hop on here, so I'll get him in just a moment. But we are watching this very closely for you here this evening. Mike, I know that you are now on your way to Cleveland. Is that right?
Yeah, can you hear me, Nick?
Yep, I sure can. Go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah, we're on our way. Just wanted to chime in here. We're one of those people that changed our plans. Originally our travel plans were Friday morning, but now they are now. Trying to race ahead of this front. At last check, I'll be honest, I haven't checked in about an hour. Just wrapped up dinner, but Ohio, it should be approaching I-75 right now, right?
Yeah, it appears to be crossing I-75 right now. So Dayton should be changing over. Cincinnati looks like you're changing over. Same for Lima. Looking at some of the comments here, we do have some snow already falling in Ohio. Power outages in Indiana, yes, there are about 3,000 or so as of last check. Also, a report out of Middle Point, Ohio, that the ground is already white. So, not taking very long, Mike, for snow to stick this evening.
No, I can't imagine. And, with this flash freeze, the way I kind of like to think about the flash freeze is it's going to be equivalent to a glaze of freezing rain, because we have all of the wet roads from all the drizzle and light rain today. It's going to be freezing very quickly, because when 44-degree air turns into teens so quickly, what's it going to do? It's going to freeze, especially very quickly because of that temperature drop. So that is going to be a concern if you are a overnight worker or someone who has to be out on the road. In Western Ohio now, but Central Ohio along I-71 up to Northeast Ohio around midnight, 2 a.m. I mean, it's going to be pretty tough out there. And not only that, but that's the point when the wind is building. You're going to get some heavy snow coming in, so you're having reduced visibility with that, and you're also going to be dealing with the blowing snow too, which I think will be more of a problem tomorrow, because we're going to have some of that fluffy accumulation that will easily blow. The wind will be more intense tomorrow, but I think, Nick, the travel impacts, they're starting now. I think that's the key.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is I think travel's going to go downhill very quickly. I was just showing one of the the tower cams from Indiana a short time ago, and the camera's shaking in the wind already. So we're starting to see some of those issues out there as well. So, but again, right now we're seeing that rain changing to snow, and it's not going to take very long for that flash freeze to take place. There's a good amount of rain initially, so we were hoping that maybe, just maybe, that colder air would come in a little faster and prevent the amount of rain at the beginning. But unfortunately, a lot of rain to start. They're going to change to snow. It'll come down moderate to heavy for a short time. Mike, if you had a chance to look at the high-resolution rapid refresh model this evening, I wanted to kind of get your take on that.
Yeah, I briefly, which run are you referring to? Are you talking about the 0Z?
Yeah, that one just kind of finished wrapping up there. Yeah.
I have not seen it, although I have seen some earlier runs of it, and it does seem that some of these like Nick said, the rapid refresh, the ones that run every hour or two. These models, the reason why they don't go out that far is because they have a lot of processing power in the near term. And I think they're starting to pick up on some of these higher totals. And by that, they're picking up on how cold the air is going to be, how little moisture it's going to take to be able to drop enough snow to blow around for a while. And Nick, if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, it does seem that it's more widespread, even reaching into our southern areas.
Yeah, I mean, it's still showing, 4 to 6 inches for Columbus, 4 to 7 around Cincinnati, some pockets even higher than that. And looking at radar trends this evening, there are some pretty dark blue bands, especially for the first few hours. And then those snow ratios should begin to pick up after that, and the snow should pile up pretty quickly. A little concerned about dry slotting in northeast Indiana, northwest Ohio, only showing 1 to 3 inches of snow there. So that'll be interesting to see how that verifies. In the northeast Ohio, those totals continue to increase. double digits, maybe even as far south as close to Akron. I think that might be a little overdone potentially, but just shows that the potential is there. But Mike, obviously the other story, the winds and the wind chills. Wind chills already 40 below in eastern Iowa, western Illinois. That's heading our way, and I am not looking forward to that. The HRRR model is a little aggressive, I think, on the wind chills for tomorrow morning, but showing minus 30 to minus 40. But it's been a long time since we've had temperatures of that magnitude in our area.
It sure has, and that does reflect what I've seen earlier as well. Some of those really short-range models like the HRRR. Yeah, I did see 35 below for Columbus, a little bit less for Cleveland just because, that lake influence, but the lake influence isn't going to matter much with this deep cold. What it'll do is enhance some snow showers east of Cleveland up to Buffalo. I know Ohio Turnpike has travel restrictions rather. Basically no trailers, no empty semis, no double trailer semis or triple trailer semis. And honestly, the Turnpike Commission's trying to keep people off the roads as much as possible because that Turnpike, you're driving west, you're driving right into the wind. And then I-75, you're driving perpendicular to it, so it's going to knock your car around on top of the reduced visibility and then the snow that blows right back onto the highway, which is going to have ice on it from this flash freeze. So that's kind of the issue you're going to run into with this. And the high wind is coupled with single-digit temperatures absolutely can drop what it feels like to 30 below. Nick, I'm wondering if the models are picking up on that, like 35, 40 below is kind of like a brief snapshot of what we might experience. Like, it won't be that the whole time. We might be 20, 25 below, but then we get a gust and we're 30 to 40 below then.
Yeah.
But really it doesn't matter because 20 below is still very dangerous. So, I think the messaging is, it's going to be dangerous for a couple days. Even Christmas Day is going to be cold, but then it starts to step up a little bit in the next week.
Yeah, and real quick, I've got another traffic cam from the Indiana Department of Transportation that's up now. The camera is shaking pretty steadily in this wind out there this evening. The roads are still passable. This is in Grant County, where as of last check, they were on a travel advisory. This is near Marion, Indiana, along I-69. You can see cars are out there, not very many. But again, right now, lanes are still very clearly marked at this point in time. But again, camera shaking there just a little bit. An indication that we do have some pretty strong winds out there as well. And as we get a little bit further into Ohio, we'll share more of these type of camera shots with you. But this is where things stand for right now. We're going to go ahead and kind of wrap things up. But again, rain changing to snow, rapidly falling temperatures, rapid increases in winds, a flash freeze, and obviously some very icy roads out there as we get into Friday morning. If you don't have to drive, don't. Or as Mike's doing, they're getting things done ahead of time. If you have any Christmas decorations that may be susceptible to the wind, now would be the time. I know it's a little late, but if you have any ground decorations that are not secured, make sure that they are ready to go because these winds will really start to whip later into the overnight hours and into Friday. 30 to even maybe as high as 60 mile per hour gusts, the highest gusts right there along the shores of Lake Erie. So we'll let you go for now. We'll come back live a little bit later on this evening, probably after the 10 o'clock hour. We should be seeing that rain snow line approaching Columbus, so we'll have some more updates for you then. For meteorologist Mike Joyce, I'm forecaster Nick Dunn reporting. Stay safe and have a good night.